Good morning back to you again due to disturbance. My last video was interrupted. I don't know reason for that. Well, this is again Engineer Suraj Singh speaking to you from Bharat, India on this day, April 11th, 2021, Sunday morning. I hope, well, I may continue, I think, if video signals help. Talk is same, civil field engineering, designs, construction methods, contracts, etc., etc. On top of that is quality, which is important one for me, for you, for everybody. Quality, I explained again and again, I explained, but for me, every time it's different. I understand without quality, there is nothing. I can say that. Without quality, there is nothing, there can be nothing, we cannot call it something. So everything must have quality. But we are human beings, we are not nature. Of course, we are part of nature, but we are not nature. Nature inputs quality according to its worthiness. Every material has quality. Of course, we may call some impurities too, but quality simultaneously exists and we relate ourselves to that one. Quality is power, you can say. It's super wealth, I can say. You may say, oh, material is wealth. Yes, you consider material as wealth. You consider money as wealth. You consider, you can say, whatever you have is wealth. But we don't consider that there is some other wealth also in different terms, and that's called rich angle, rich aspect of something. Rich doesn't mean power of wealth. Rich doesn't mean collection of wealth. Rich means standards. We are human beings, we can't go beyond some limit. But if we study, if we observe nature, nature doesn't exist without quality. Quality of system and quality of performance, quality of material, quality of thoughts, quality of soul. Though we cannot prove soul, but quality of soul means quality of individual, and quality can be defined in many terms. And quality means it is based on designs, and design also basis on quality. Both are interrelated. If there is design, good design, we can say it based on certain procedures, certain formulas, certain methods, certain technology. And that's of course a quality issue, because whatever we do, whatever we design, we consider it. We use best of that power, what is that. If we consider metal, we of course apply factor of safety in its use. But we take best of that. That's called, though it's not defined in every way, it can be defined in every way. There's no obstruction. It depends on our contribution. In what depth we can go, we can study. Systems study, individuality study, substance study, material studies, each micro study. All these are supportive to understand quality. Every human has a quality, every human, that even non-humans have quality. We say something else, but actually that is quality. Performance, nature is also quality. What God has given me is part of quality, that I can say quality. My quality is that, or we can say my character is that. Character and quality. If your character is good, you are you can say a person who can be relied upon. And reliance means it's not for everything, it's for somebody else. If I am respected, I am honored by few people, these people are, say, my supporters for something, my recommenders, I can say that I have some quality, of course, I have some character, I have something in me, these people recognize. This means maybe those people, they learn from you, or you learn from someone else. Learning is also something you can say it's earning. Learning is earning, and that earning means it takes automatically quality aspect. If I don't have quality aspect, my learning is useless, my knowledge is useless, because I only weigh power of knowledge, and power of knowledge means you must have quality. And if you don't do that, if you don't achieve that, then you are a scrap. Your knowledge is scrap. Knowledge cannot be measured in terms of money, never. Knowledge cannot be evaluated in terms of money or wealth, because knowledge is something unknown. It can be known only when you use it. If I have, say, studied 500 books and I don't use any what I study, what means that? It means I am blank, I am big void. My knowledge is only to entertain, to enjoy, and nothing else. Maybe I write poems, I write books, but those are only books. People don't draw any use from them. This means my books are having no quality, or if this book is quality, people shall certainly attract towards it. That should happen. I understand system, scientists understand system, doctors understand system, engineers understand system. Everybody understands system, but nobody made that system. Nobody. That is God done. Earth or solar system, nobody made. Human body, nobody made. All these materials we use in structures, we did not make it. Right? We've used them, certain ingredients. We use some ores, minerals. We use them. Actually, we are just using available power of nature, available materials that we get from nature, we use them. And also doctors use body to repair it, to heal it. God has given body. Doctor doesn't make body. And it applies to everything in life. Mind, we use it. I didn't make my mind. It's God, it's part of body. I only use it. I'm using respiration system. I didn't make anything, nobody made it. We are using it, and you are using it for long. Since you are born, you have been using it. And time till you leave this world, you will use it without any failure. You can't stay without respiration for 15 minutes. Forget long hours. This means there's perfection on the system. Suppose a person lives for 100 years. During that 100 years, this machine continued. It didn't stop, except its frequency. So what can you say? God cared for quality, certainly, for sure. God produced system based on quality, system based on its performance, system based on its standards. Whatever the God standards, I don't know. Only God knows. We produce our own systems. It's not, you can say. We may say, oh, I have designed the system. We can say, yeah, I designed the system. And that's formula we can say, it's my pride, it's my happiness. I designed this, I have designed right of this. I copyright of this, I wrote this, I am author of this. We say, because we have very small mind. We're very small, you can say atheist. God never says, I did it. He never even comes to tell you I did it. I claim. And based on this design, we do production, we do manufacturing, we do construction. We can do, though it's all construction, we call it production, shop production, machine production, factory production, manufacturing. Ultimately it's construction. We assemble many parts into one machine. We do that. And the same thing in construction, construct any part from foundation, and all members are connected together. This means we have to understand basics. Construction and reverses destruction. Construction is better or destruction is better? This we can understand very well. Construction is very hardworking. It takes long time to construct something. And before construction, we have to understand what metals we are using that. In that construction, we have to understand all properties of that material. Human understood that. And only after understanding we design something. Means we have to understand natural available materials in whatever form. And then only we can use those properties which we obtain from that. We don't add anything to that. We use some material, some ingredients together to form something else compositively. That's, you can say, that's how God's given opportunity to human being to work as such. But we don't worry about that. So okay, we have to make money, to make pride. A promoter wants to make money. A scientist wants to just invent. An engineer wants to produce some method, some building, some structure. That's our final aim. How much we go deep down? We are interested to go to other planets, moons, Mars. We are interested to go to sun. We don't know anything, we don't know totality of lithosphere. As I said, can you make a room at 1 kilometer depth? I won't get any answer by anyone. Nobody will answer that because it's impossible. It's impossible. A planet on which we have been living for centuries, for millenniums, and unknown times. We don't understand that. We have not understood yet. Approximately 12,500 to 13,000 kilometer diameter of this planet. We could not understand that so far. We boost everything. Somebody becomes some scientist, engineer, doctor, something else, starts boasting, oh, I have this degree, I'm expert at this, I can do this and can do that. But ultimately, when things go on, situation goes beyond control, we try to repair it, but with no guarantee. So construction is something different, and my point of view is to generate something, find some reliable fact on something, and we should know what we have to do. That's the most important point. I every field. If we know what's my objective, what's our objective, and how to get that objective, what's easiest and best way, economical way, safe way to get that objective, or focus on that objective. That's called approach towards universe. There's no defect in universe. Human caused defect. Universe is best and safely working for unknown times. But human being has been given some power to think. Child has also been given some power to think. Those who are very well educated in their respective fields are also having God gift to think. On thinking, don't take it too lightly. It's not actually what meaning has been told to you. Been told you by school, by teacher. Don't stick on that only. That's one meaning. There are many meaning of thinking. Actually, thinking is energy of your body. Thinking is brilliance of yourself. Those who think, maybe they don't get any money immediately. Maybe they don't get any interest immediately, but they enjoy power of thinking. Maybe sometimes it's not useful, but it gives you something which you have taken but don't even accept that you have taken that. So I say, by thinking, many times we can solve some problems. Problems that exist, all problems that exist, never ever, forever we call problems, because these exist in temporary phase, and certainly solution will appear through whatever person or through your own mind. solutions will come up. When solutions come up, we feel happy. Solutions for sure shall come if you think. If you leave it to luck, you'll never find solution. It's no, I have to think on that. The God feels very happy you are going to think. You're going to use your mind. That's really very much inclusive, exclusive, intelligent, and of course, you have to work on that. Everybody who is well educated in field of engineering or some other field, you have to work on that, experiment on that. But that experiment, that knowledge should continue. It doesn't happen, unfortunately. Well, my talks about method statements, which is only, may call it only solution to executive problems. I'm not saying fundamental problems, because fundamental is something else. I'm just calling it, something that can be used for purpose of execution or purpose of doing something. That's call it purpose of doing something, and that's what we say. We can relate it to ourselves. You can see structures. You can see whatever you see. You can see something or not. And we usually call them construction projects. Construction project or projects, you may call them, if not construction project, because after all, projects are projects. It may be construction project, it may be design project, it may be some other project, development project, it can be national project, it can be international project. After all, what we project is, we project something to world, we project something to world, that's also project. You project some PowerPoint, that's also project. But project means something you inject in world, positively, proactively. And we generally use management in life, a standard term. Of course, we can say organization does exist. Organization, because every product, you can say project result is organ of society. If you say powerhouse, power station, or infrastructural projects we receive, which becomes units for operation, those are all somewhere, some extent, organs of our society, organs of our nation, economies. Economies, when we call it, this means nation. Economies doesn't mean money economy. Economy means a society, a nation. Nation is also called economy. So we say also that this project is good for economy, or this is not viable for economy. Sometimes before doing something, we can comment like that. No issue. I usually called organizational management or organizational controls, you may say. Management can also be called controls. It can be called organization, and its properties are controls. Its commands are controls. Controls of all relevances, all possible areas as we study in same subject. It's control of cost, control of time, control of, you can say, quality, control of production, control of all related people, human resources, machines, equipment. You can say we can control relatively. We cannot control absolutely. Relational control, relational, we can say. We can't control otherwise. The group of control, list of controls that we talk of in engineering profession or other professions. Engineering profession is a little different than other professions because this profession requires thorough thinking. Thorough thinking. And that's why I like this profession, because thinking is required. You're not bound by any method or systems. You can devise your own. To an extent, it must be better than before it's available. It's not difficult. Once your mind is clear, nothing is difficult. So rather than sticking to management term, I want to stick to organizational controls. You can say management is controls, governance, you may call it, and governance is also controls. When we say governance of this nation, governance of that country, governance by municipality, governance by this and that, means how do you work, how do you take care of people, how do you take care of society. That's called organizational world, or you can say how you deal with something. So projects controls, projects organization, projects being, becoming, and in particular when it relates to construction. Construction, though it's physically called construction, but it's based on designs, it's a mental world, and 60-70% of this construction is mental world for planning, for safety, for do, how and to do, want to do. Means even building itself is a part of planning. Of course, it's outsourced and it's in source. Yes, we do ourselves this job. That's called gradual development of social science, physical science, mental science. We have to accept that. Not going much into that now. Consider for our integration with projects, and we call projects. That's requirement of project requirement, project organization concept and its necessity, project management we call it, project controls call it, or project organization we call it. A little analysis, brief analysis to understand how to integrate these plans with required knowledge areas, and structure sequence of project organization knowledge, areas requirements, what risk response do we have, how do we govern it, how you suppress risks, how we prevent ourselves from adverse impacts of risk. And communication, how to do, use it's very important tool nowadays. It was before also, but because of electronics and because of computers, because of internet, it's to some extent changed, very fast communication can be done. Or fast has no meaning if it's not useful. Even the 100 talks a day, you write 100 mails a day. If you don't have certain objective, this is all useless. Communication cannot be wasted, must be used properly, because the energy and both things. Just putting the energy into communication through mail or some whatever means of the video, whatever things best for the communication, you do that. So communication, that part which you don't consider too much, but it's very important part. Very, very important part. Life is communication, communication with life. You can't take someone by hands. You have to use certain supporting medium. Then we say, okay, we start some project thinking. We have to get some project, let's try to know what that is. We have to initiate something to study that project superficially first, and then analytically. So we study that. That's very important. This quick hill. You know that initiation of charter is really something to start with, and that's where experience is required. To start whatever you do, everybody cannot do it. Everybody cannot start everything until it is known, until you are trained. Until you are trained, you cannot start something except basics, You start a cycle, mechanism is available. You start a car, mechanism available, you know that mechanism. If that mechanism not available, you can't start even. So we can say initiation, start of chart. What should we chart? What's charted in? For what? That's what you think. For reference. But that reference should be clear. It cannot be, you can say, toddler's reference. It should be professional reference. Professional. So if you know professional reference, you can say this is real reference, this is useful reference. This cannot change. And you can say charter can be done like a book, but resource it is, because this charter one day shall act as past record or resource which will help all. So charter is no joke. It's your own written for yourself. You are warrantor of that because you are writing it. It's your warranty. Of course, based on collection of some other records. But ultimately, it's your design. Charter you are designing yourself. There is no grant on this, your own grant. You are granting to yourself by your own authority or power. Then you come into planning. Yes. How to develop it, what you thought of. What are major processes? What you have to do? What knowledge level you have with that? Who is your owner? Who is your client? Who is your customer? What deadlines? Access? Can we do that? Or can we bid for that? Can we come on, sit and lead, say yes, we are capable to do that. We can complete this in this defined limit. Can we? It's called execution and implementation process. Can we? We have to analyze ourselves. We have to analyze, are we in a position to do it? Or just because of interest we do it? No. We have to analyze. Are we, how much free we are? What percentage of freedom we have? Or we are bound by current work? Then communication among all parties, all stakeholders. That communication is also very useful, very important, very significant. Communication means, it doesn't mean only for paper work. This means dissemination of information based on truth, based on facts. That's communication of one part. And communication face to face, communication references, and then you can say during that monitoring. Monitor yourself, investigate yourself and find more information. And then you can say lessons learned, we have to record. Which lessons? Somebody may not understand in the beginning what lessons we are talking of, until you understand what's right, what's wrong, or until understand what's meaning of mistake. Because mistakes must be understood. We cannot understand mistakes, we cannot respect ourselves. Everybody has a right to make mistakes. I am saying right because it's excusable if somebody mistakes first time, second time. So we should respect at least that person efforted, that person applied efforts to do something. Of course, there was no complete knowledge, that person failed somewhere, doesn't matter. Ultimately, one has to fail sometime. And failure is the root of another success. That's also true, because usually a phrase, failure is the root of success. Yes, it is. We learn from our life. We learn from our errors, our mistakes. And even if we again make same mistake, then we cannot be called intelligent people, because mistakes are not, initiated by self. Mistakes happen because of either unknowingly using something, or not understanding what you have to use, or lack of communication, or like that, mistakes can happen. So we should know how to hand that error, that mistake. There are certain points we should understand. It's not simply I'm telling something, but it's very important. And we were somewhere here on, or you can say we went through all this in our talk, and we had gone to some, we may say, yes, we had done this initiation project research chart constituents. We had done this, and we are somewhere else. Can say project stage of project continued. We had client round meeting dated. So first then, with Rocktan, we are doing like this, some technical submission on this and that. That was last time. Very interesting one. To take care, I repeat that on behalf of bidder, what bidder or tender should think of. Like this charter formation, call it. What is charter formation for a bidder? Charter formation for a bidder. After all, what bidder is, we have to take that point into our criteria. What do you mean by bidder or tenderer? No, I know people know it, but what does it mean? Bidder, or a person who tenders, considering that's my profession, is my business, my commerce. Yes, that's right. First of all, bidder has to submit bid. That's a very important point. Submission of bid or submission of tender, think in construction projects. On that too, EPC project where even design is in the hand. You think it's so easy? I don't think so. No, it's not. It's not easy. It's technical. It's commercial. It's industrial. How can you say it's easy? Bid is something, you can say, bid is like, I can do it if you give me this. Got my point? I can do it for you if you pay me this. If you do it, you have to be paid. If you did this for someone or do this for someone, and that person gives you exchange money or consideration for that, that's called the bid proposal. Because bid is a proposal on certain conditions, on certain rituals. Bid is that. Bidder is a person who does it. Bidder means I have gone through your requirement, I have gone through your documents requirement, your requirement, and I understand your position, my position, and also I hope that you shall give me a reference of funding. It's a very important point actually, very important point. Until we understand what is bid, what is bidder, we can't understand what is civil engineering, what is other engineering in the beginning. Bidder, before doing this, has to decide in charter. And if this is in negative, no meaning of bidding. If this is penning, yes, you can say, oh, she's penning, I do something. If I don't understand charter, but I write my charter on some bid, or it's not difficult, we got documents or we decide to get documents, and documents shall be information about what this project is, what this bid is for. The scope is defined clearly by owner, and we should confirm that yes, we got this, what is to be done in bid. So what we say when we go through bid contents, bid scope, then we can say what is our scope, because bid scope is our scope, bid's position is our position, because we are going to enter into contract with that party. Now, bid process. We have to understand bid. Because of our own registration or shortlisting, we got information that take this bid, and we got this bid, and we have to see how we deal with that. Sometimes everybody doesn't have time except senior surveyors. Who can decide about this? Bid offer. If we have understanding of that project, if we can say, okay, we do it. Means how to respond that. Got these documents. We understanding, we try to understand what to respond with. That's which is a point given to us. Which I can't say. We have to respond. If you can do this, we respond. If you don't do this, how can we respond? Someone says me. In that case, we have to respond to our customer that we can do this bid, and we will organize it to submit it. We have to discuss it with all our partners in our organization, all safety levels shown to them, and how heavy stone came onto earth from space in front of our house. We can say there are two types we submit to private bids these days: technical and commercial. Technical bid is input for establishing that as company, as organization, as contractor, we have well-defined status, well-defined potential to prove that whatever is done is to done, shall be done. But because this is available bid, we can raise our points. Indeed, those points can be raised because technical bid is very valuable. It would tell we are not dealing with inexperienced people. We are dealing with those who are professionals, who understand profession, who understand engineering. That's called a specialization field. Technical bid means a system you are submitting wherein you can establish that you are capable to do this, you know what to do there. That's called technical bid. There's no price tag in that. Just client is very serious sometimes. It happens. Technical bid is something that has to tell customer or engineer by documentation itself, not by speaking or writing essays, by attaching document and procedures we have to follow, that efficiently we can do this job. We are not going to fail. We have capacity to do that, financial capacity and other capacity. We have good people with us, employees, higher level employees, lower level employees, all. Or we shall hire someone else for this support. And this is program we give. This is my, for this project, expected people, expected employees, expected human resources, and that should be accurate for quantity that you have given us. Same way, quantity and quality subject to availability, information of information. We give dates of class 1, you can say the father. You understand all that. That is very important part of it. From start till end, we know how to do it. Stop fighting on tiny issues of hot water. I feel very sad that day when this is delayed. No comes later on. If you are satisfied, everybody is satisfied, then they can open your commercial bid or call for commercial bid submission both ways. Then only few people shall submit that bid because all can't submit everything. Just for malpractice in business, you can say you can put something day wise or put my face wise. Technical bid is very important for me. If you just see points here, we can realize a lot in that. You can see these points again. It's very important one. Very important one for every consideration. I think it's important part to deal with, so we should know what's that. Meanwhile, you can enjoy it about what is this. I'll come in few minutes time. We'll take care of this. Yeah, of course, I talked it once, but still, you have to repeat and understand what's the important point in that. gentlemen, it's too late. No problem. We continue. As we said, we have to continue it, and we do it, of course. We do it continue. Let us see how can we do it. Talks of alternate bid, let's say, was technical bid. As with such charter, process, response to bid documents, bid may or may not be suitable. In case unsuitable, deny bid and return documents to client, if so required. In case suitable, if bid is suitable, respond to client for submitting bid. Bid coordinator announcement, proposal coordinator announcement, bid team members announcement in organization, mail circulation to all members, and specific bid folder in intranet sharing server. Bid time schedule plan, attendance of pre-bid meeting with client, raising doubt on bid and its provisions, clarification on total scope, design issues, probabilities. Talks of alternative bid in addition to original demanded, and site visit with client or engineer if already appointed. Report visit and meeting details to sponsor, owner of organization and board, etc. Various meetings for bid involving estimation head and complete bid team. Invitation to quotes from relevant vendors according to listed details. Invitation to design vendor if EPC. Formulating bid in software used, whatever software. Computation of quantities accurately. Rates formation. Comparison of quotes. Technical comparison. Commercial comparison. Coordination and negotiations with possible or prospective vendors. Coordination with possible subcontractors. Producing technical bid means these were pre-bid requirements which are here, as I just all these points which we refer to first charter and technical bid, which says alternate bid, site visit, visit with the engineer, report visit, meeting details, issue on boards, meetings, bid team announcement, vendor list, design vendors invitation for quotations of if contract is EPC or bid is EPC, which software you have to use for computation of quantities, analysis of rates, you can say rates formations. Then you have got competition, you have got quotes from various vendors to conduct technical analysis, technical comparative statements, commercial statements, conditional statements, reservations, qualifications, etc., etc. Coordination, negotiation with possible vendors and coordination with possible subcontractors, and collecting all information that may be required for this bid. Then we have to enter the process of producing technical bid. Technical bid which involves, which is based on execution statement, a statement which describes abstract of a procedure you are going to prosecute this bid. Execution statement may be called, or it may be called total work statement of project, which can cover with it safety arrangements, safety, health and environment plans, quality plans, workmen or workers or crew histograms, equipment, possible equipment utilization histograms, possible vendor list with options, then material suppliers list, services supplier list, possible designers list with options, the design statements, design hours expected on this project, specialist services documents, time schedule for whole project, and you can say establishment of workers, camping and lodging, establishment of site including warehousing, laydown areas, then site controls, site organizational management, project leads, project heads, possible team, key personnel, CVs, organization administration, documents, capacity of bidder, previous projects, records, value engineering on project in case bid is awarded, statements of lessons learned from records plus production. These are few stages of technical bid. Then come commercial bid. Technical bid and commercial bid, of course, were merged one time in one submission, but later as specialization grows, technical bid is submitted as capacity statement, competency statement, you can say, of party bidder, party bidding for this project. It states that party is capable of doing this job. If party knows everything, what is to be done? Its expertise is not simple party. It's expertise which only such parties do have, not all. Technical bid means complete techniques. Techniques supporting and techniques not supporting. Techniques that directly work on products. That's what technical bid it is all about. Once you prepare one bid, you can use it, of course, with certain modifications on other project, but only after thoroughly understanding scope of bid. That scope is very intelligent, very effective, and it teaches a lot, requires a lot. So maybe civil engineering composition may not be that much, civil engineering cost may not be this much, but after all, project is project. Requirement of civil engineering exists, without which nothing can move. Then we can commercial bid, that says direct cost, indirect cost, marks up additional value to client if awarded, balancing bid amount, conferencing on parallel bids or rivals, generating their weak points in this bid, innovative technologies to be utilized for alternative bid, submission, with review by sponsors, and final documents. Submission electronically, with submission on hard copies and soft copies as mandated as required. Though it's some points only, but these are all points required by bidder to affect. It's not easy, because we should not forget bidder means future contractor. One of them, all bidders. One of them is future contractor. And contractor has to do job. Contractor has to take responsibility in that case. If you are signing some contract with some party, government or otherwise, which means you have been elected as lead party. Well, bid we understand now. What stages bid has got. Depending on size of bid, depending on what nature bid is, depending on its complete one branch of engineering or interactive branch of engineering, interdisciplinary branch of engineering, I can say that bid is voluminous. Can we have many volumes if complete detailing is done? We should not worry about thickness of volume but contents of volume. So we can see many points in bids. Actually, it's no joke. These are real points. Without this, we cannot do anything. So much coordination is required, so much communication is required, so much reporting is required, so much interaction is required, so much thought is required, so much concentration is required. And same tone is required. Better not to join if you are not allowed to join. And we can say technical bid, once it is submitted, there will be many calls. There could be many clarifications required by engineer. Could be. And this can continue for long. Therefore, we cannot generalize technical bid. It depends on type of contract, contents of contract, what is scope of work, what is expectation of specialist contractor. Are we in a position to give alternative bid? All that will be done if you can think of whole scope of work, or if you are only interested in submitting bid without understanding thoroughly the contract or contents of scope. In that case, alternative bid is no answer, because we don't understand. We just want to take contract for purpose of our market and don't understand thorough scope. We have to understand on design requirement also, if there exists. What design, how is this orchestra? We have to take every consideration. We have to take consideration of access to site, how easy it is. Is grain field or it's brown field? Or trucks can go in, lorries can go in, trailers can go in. How far locate the sea from there? Next. So bid is bid. If you don't have thorough knowledge, you have to take time. One who's responsible for this bid has to take time, has to use time. At least his department, his own part, as a specialty, must be clearly understood. Well, it doesn't matter. We have to understand technical bid, we have to understand commercial bid, only then we can say, okay, we have done bid. We have many bid surveyors busy on bid, but technical bid is something calculated. Means we have to understand quantity first. We have to understand procedures, how shall this work be done. Only then we can say, yes, it is. We can say, yes, it is, and it's very important one. It's very important one. It's no joke. Technical bid is an art. It's the experience-based document. It tells you understood this. It tells you what strength of workforce you are going to employ, what strength of equipment you are going to employ. You can understand that only based on duration of project, based on quantities you are going to use, at least if not exactly, within 5 to 10% variation you should know. BOQ can't be relied upon whatever BOQ you have. Means you have to prepare BOQ yourself. Even if you are subcontracting, you can't depend on main contract BOQ. Quantity is very important to be known. And if you know quantity, if you know half of quantity, it's nothing. Technical bid is submitted by experts, very experts people. It's not simply statement submission, philosophical submission about this project. We have to understand. You can't even repeat execution statement. You should give facts. This takes some time. First year study was done 50 years back, 40 years back. They can make this point. That's one set. All right. I think that my proposal was to tell you about these points for bid submission, and I understand you got grip of that. I kept this page open to you quite long so that you got each point clear in clear terms. That was very important. And costing has been done. You know costing, how you do. It's nothing very. If you have quantification of rates, you can find cost components. Then you can say, okay. Yeah, so, Okay. We continue now on this part of tender bid, and further stage we go on because it's not easy to understand. It's not easy to bid, particularly construction and both design and construction. It needs highest level of relevant professionals, experienced one. Okay, let's go one by one now. Project stages or project includes what? As we said before, initiation, planning, execution, implementation, monitoring, updates, completion, closing, and administrative controls, followed by maintenance. Execution or implementation also affected by both parts, clients, the owner, and a contractor. Both undertake certain processes directly and indirectly to meet hope scope of contract requirements. Bid, as I said, is very operative, is very imperative. If it is erroneous, contract shall suffer. If it is competent, contract may benefit, and what you can say, honor customer shall also benefit because transfer of responsibility to erect down that this indicates a lifelong learning is important. Let us see now what we do, which is post bid process. What we have to do once bid has been considered, that's points very important here. If it's understood properly, it can be said the dedication of staff, You can see that. Award of contract, declaration by appointment, issuing letter of intent, definition of contract dates, definition, extent of liquidated damages, adjustment of prices in agreement with contractor, contract amount or price, announcement of engineer designated as contractual, definition of powers and authorities of engineers, and say announcement of all specialist engineers. In case engineer is from client, you can say engineer is from client. Then we can say engineering department announcement of consulting engineers, date of kick-off meeting, dates by which all contract documents to be issued, appointment of dates of site handover to contractor, dates by which remaining scope drawings to be reissued in case of construction contracts, plus final time schedule requirements for initial presentation, priorities list of certain projects, areas and dates by which other project plans are required, dates by which design documents are required, requirements of mobilization plans, requirements of execution method, statement, requirements of engineer's office, location, contractors, premises, surveillance and monitor contractors, design team, requirement of performance bond from contractor, requirements of third party insurance, requirements documents for release of any contractual permitted advance sum against bank surety. Now this I talked last time. Now what actually execution is, an implementation process talks of contractor what is to do, meeting deadlines to submit various deliverables as part of contract performance. Now I have to sit to talk of this. What actually I talk of, when contractors are performed, the point comes in. Thank you, Mr. Raju, joining. You're welcome. What do you do as far as deliverables are concerned? Very important point. Receipt of contract award, inspection review of all contract documents, kick-off meeting, announcement of project reference, authorizing project budget and authorizing project manager or leader, constitution of project team, cost control code to circulation, project development plan drafting, meeting with engineer consultants to discussing strategy, planning, site visits plus site takeoff or plus appointment of contractors, start date, proposal for various vendors of contractors, and submission of proposed key plan, key personnel to engineer. So we have to understand these points very well. First of all, after all, what is required? What is required? Why required? What's our target for that? These points are very important. We can say that once we receive award letter, we have to we have been say appointed as contractor. You can say in that case once we get letter of intent and award letter. In that case we have to be very careful. No, after all, as contractor we have to do it. It's not easy. When you do contract means it's not simple signing on a page of contract forms or signing some other documents that was submitted. That was a problem, it's gone. Other problem comes in. The account says 20 once again. We have to think on that. After all, we have to do job. We have to understand complete specifications. We have to understand complete scope. We have to go through every page of book that we have signed or will sign. We have to go into complete announcement of project. So we can jump onto our process of understanding, and we have to conclude something, how far we can go. That point's really very important one. We have to understand that. And if you don't understand, means we make mistakes. We don't understand, we can't do things. After all, we are going to sign a contract. That contract means it's not simple signature. You are accepting what contract mandates. This means that you're not doing any obligation on someone. You are being paid. You shall be paid for what you demanded. What did you offer in exchange of that? So you must know everything about every page, every document. Sometimes we do not take care of that, but it works excessively in peaceful times also. It's unfortunate that only few people understand this. That's a question of responsibility. Very big responsibility. The responsibility is everlasting. After all, work is to be done. We should not forget that point. That work is to be done according to requirement. And these points which I explained before, those still hold. And then comes main point, very significant point on project, which is heavyweight project requirement. That's called the WCD or water processed. And we can say following process will be affected regularly during execution at defined activities interval for initial answers, for update and for validation. Records of all live services, drawings from statutory local bodies, review and diversion, procedure of all such services, dissemination of project scope to all relevant parties, personnel and vendors, correspondences, site memos, site instructions, engineer's instructions, emails, phone discussion. You have to actually be very smart in communication. Communication means timely information provided to everyone. That's called communication. It can't be called ignorance, it can be requirement, it can be said that without communication it's going to be possible. The communication successfully or successful. Information provision to everybody, all time. It's not simple one statement. It's continuous process of communication and correspondences, which can be said site memos, site instructions, engineer's instructions, emails, phone discussion confirmations, CV approvals, general meetings, minutes, contextual meetings, minutes, specialist services. Better should be done. Better should be done. That's point of coverage here, which we have to use constructively on some project for purpose of record as well as documents. You can say emails, correspondence, side memo, side instruction, engineer instructions, emails, phonic discussion, confirmation, CV approvals, general meetings, minutes, contextual meetings, minutes, specialist meetings, minutes, coordination meeting, minutes, foreman meeting, technician meetings, video conferencing, video records, computer records, work posture for those plus video records for all. Okay, you have to do that. Indeed, there is no way. It is to be done, and if you don't do it, you will fail. Simply, active contract, active activities. It's action required for all disciplines. All disciplines, actions required. Very, very important part. Video conferencing, contact meeting, specialist meeting, general meetings, coordination meetings, foreman meeting, technician meeting, video submissions and approvals, vendors video records, computer record, work photos, technical meetings, video conferencing. That's planning, schedule, mission, So we can explore possibilities of how best we can do work. And that's correspondences, planning, engineering, all side issues, laboratory, HSC training, all changes on that sheet. That's all here in. Of course, we have to understand these. Planning is very important. Engineering is more important than planning, but both are engineering. Actually, without engineering, there can be no planning. Without planning, there can be no engineering. Both are same. So, engineering design deliverables, planning requirements, planning submission, approval, regularly organization, chart, job role description of various personnel and budgetary costs, engineering design deliverables, submissions, review, and and approvals, material submissions, approvals, drawing submissions, and all documents and drawings, approvals, registers, technical queries, and engineering queries, document center control, working all shop drawings issues, all site issues, daily records, works of work, concrete records, cube records, formwork records, rebar records, structural steel records, all stories, all sales records, and such. We have to understand all these important points. When I say engineering designs and deliverables, everything, and each site issues and laboratory and all that, we have to deeply understand all this. Means this can understand from your experience only, not otherwise. Yeah, it's very important actually. Very important point. Things you can say. Engineering designs, deliverable submission, review and approval, metal submissions and approvals, drawing submissions and approvals, engineering formats reviews, approvals, inspection approvals, all documents and drawings approval registers, technical queries, engineering queries, documents under control, workshop, working and shop drawings, all issues, daily records of works, concrete records, cube records, formwork records, rebar records, structural steel records, all stored. Records, laboratory and material testing, management, organization, engineering, training records. Engineering, without engineering, nothing is possible. That's also true. International contracts and national contracts are actually based on engineering performance, not otherwise. That's important part of engineering and contracts. It's not like ours. There's everything should be wait. continue further if required, because we have to understand whole procedure. We have to cover engineering, we have to cover all other issues, we have to cover laboratory metal testing, we have to cover HSC training, we have to cover all such issues, which are very important. Daily records. This is speaking document every day. We have to submit. We have to record. We submit as record, permanent record for daily records. Means it gives what activities we started last time, what activities are pending, how many completed, what's the nature of what today, what work we will do, what manpower available, what machines are available, what material has come, what is approved, is not approved. All information related to daily activity. Accident happen, not happen, safety should maintain or not. Matters applied here. Then laboratory conditions we have to think of. Also in that daily report we can say what happened on site. We have to write everything. Concrete delivered or not, what happened, who visited site, what the temperature, weather temperature and others. Means whatever is practically traceable, we can record in a sequence network in very simple noting, and both parties, means both contractor representative and engineer's representative, must sign every day, whatever time it vary. That point can reach us somewhere. That point can take us somewhere. You have to record. If you send material to some testing laboratory, you should write. If you test some queue, you should write. If you bring some material, get some deliveries of rebar, you should write. Or whatever other materials we receive, you should write. We can say that engineering training records as well as statements, that is staff personality development and team building and upgradation, progress management and monthly payment certificates or valuations. See, let's understand all this. Without understanding, it's not possible to do project. All, training, HSC, all changes in works, whatever works are these, we'll discuss a lot of that. Lot has been discussed, lot shall be discussed. Because it's ultimately this we require, ultimately. We require this. Ultimately, you can say, ultimately this is required, ultimately what's required? This required. And this doesn't come free. This comes only by hard work, smart work, continuation of work, keeping eyes on everything, understanding every document, understanding codes, understanding specifications, understanding your company, understanding client, everything. This must be clear to everybody. If it's not clear, you'll make mistakes, certainly for sure, and we should not do that. Let's say all side issues, we have gone through that already. Laboratory metal testing, then method statements, we're talking in all method statements. Then staff personality development and team building, of course, that's an important part. Continuation of that is must. Then how to measure progress, project progress measurement, monthly payment certificates, evaluations, all quality management records, and filing system, quality training records. It's about that means we had to quality. I'm talking of projects now. All HSC training and execution records, all accident or injury records, and safety drills. Safety drills. Okay, let's go now. Let's talk about this conclusion. So we can say training of HSC, that's execution records, then training of HSC, all accidents, injury records, safety drills records, toolbox talks, start cards, you know what's a start cards now, safety task and review technique, analysis and review technique, prevention from hazards, keeping sites tidy, safety incentive awards, safety walks, best engineers and foremen awards, best workman awards, all changes on works, all red lines, markups, all as-built records, all dossiers, all data sheets, all sealed documents, all involved certificates, all non-compliance records, all remedial action records, punch list, inspections and records, site walkthrough records, snags records and their implementations, defects records, rework requirements records and rework inspections, removal of major defects, lessons learned from mistakes, quality audits, reports from external sources and from internal resources. All these, when you say method statements, when you say staff personality development and team building, all taking them to higher level, that's very important, because it is profession, it is work. As much as training we give them, they will learn more and more, quality wise, quantity wise and project wise. Progress management cannot be done in cost only, it can be done in total valuation, cost plus, that is performance. Quality management or quality recording is not only for quality control, it's for quality creation, training, modification, update, like HSC update, HSC records, HSC management, HSC organization. Quality and HSC are very much linked together, because HSC is also based on quality and quality is based on HSC. Accident should not happen, that's also part of quality. We say sometimes so many million working hours without any fatality. We write that. This quality, how we are managing our safety in a quality manner, and how we are maintaining our quality in a quality manner, I can say. Just like that, safety is a word, quality is a word, engineering is a word, engineering is totality. We have to understand that. Change is on work. What's that? After all, it's lump sum fixed price contract. What do you mean by changes? There can be changes. Changes are expected. Changes are imminent. But we have to consider them definitely. Means red lines, it is called red lines. Where we make changes, they accept. Both parties accept. Engineer allowed, contractor did it, he does it. Employer accepts. Both parties accept it. Of course, with variation or without variation, that's a different issue. But these are recorded at red lines, which are incorporated into built drawing as built drawings. L-based records, which will be used for permanent maintenance, or permanent record that structure, building or whatever. All dossiers, all dossiers, all data sheets, all sealed documents, all invoice certificates, all non-compliance records, all remedial action records, punch list inspections records, site walkthrough records, snags records, their implementation, defects records, and network Requirement records that rework, inspections, remove of major defects, lessons learned from mistakes, quality audit. Quality audit reports from external sources, from internal sources. It's project, it's not children game. You have contract. Contract is a document with an agreement between two parties. It's no joke. You are paid for that work. Work is to be delivered. Must mind us. There is no concession. There is no freedom. Contract is not freedom, but freedom to do. Freedom to do under restrictions. That's contract is. You are free to work, but under defined circumstances, under controlled circumstances. That's contract. You can't say. Your responsibility, your obligation as a contractor is to do everything what is contained in documents, all contract documents. Whatever is required to be done according to the scope of work cannot run away. Contract is contract. Don't forget, it's your responsibility. Each page is signed, and hundreds of pages are signed, 1,000 pages are signed by each party. Payment is made, you have to do job. Payment is made, all the stakeholders expect job. Payment is made, employer expects job. Because you are doing job, employer has to pay to you. It's contract. Engineering has to be done, planning has to be done, correspondence has to be done, coordination has to be done, communication has to be done, also safety has to be done, quality has to be done. Whatever is required to be done has to be done. No way to escape. If you want to escape, suspension comes in, termination comes in. If you want to suspend yourself, and that shall create ill reputation for you. If employer doesn't pay in time, it's called bad reputation for employer. Contract is contract. You say no. It's job of responsibility, obligation, accountability, liability, and continued liability through your survivors. Even if contractor dies, his legal survivors are responsible, legal heirs are responsible. This is very much fundamental law everywhere, all over. You have to understand this point. It's very common sense point. You can't run away from that. If you want to run away, you are not a contractor. You don't know what a contract means. Contract means that one side is contractor, other end is employer. Both run together. Employer makes payment according to contract performance, and contractor has to perform according to contract's descriptions and must deliver works and get paid. This point is very important to understand. It's not simple method I'm telling. It's people say they have done project management. Okay, very fine. But do you understand what is project management? Explain what is project management. What is project? What is management? How it can be done? What are various ways? Can it be taken in isolation, or can it be taken in assembly of various engineering disciplines? What's that? Embedment of various disciplines, one page. Can you think on that? Contemplation is required on that. Is it possible or not possible? That's the point where we deep in. That's why I say that contract is contract. Always remember these points. Always remember these points, because this is what is required. Don't rush. Don't rush. That's what I say. Rush has got no meaning. You have to do it. And if you don't do it, Who will do it? Monitoring and updates will take into considerations. You can say that all would come. All these titles you are looking at shall come in. Shall come in, of course. So we have gone through certain very important points today. Let's say initial charter, then you can say explanation of those. And we can say reach somewhere, definitely on certain points. Those points carry some meaning. Those points carry something that requires understanding. Project is no game of cricket or football. It has to be done, and to be done. We have to understand contract in its entirety. We have to understand structure in its entirety. We have to understand everything in entirety. There may be mistakes indeed, but we have to understand mistakes also in entirety. Everything is entirety. Everything. I like to take up this issue later on also, because such a boring issue but very interesting issue. You can say, how will say boring issue can be interesting issue? Yes, it's very boring issue. It's a boring issue for everybody because they do not try to understand contract. That's why it's boring. If they try to understand contract, well, it will never be boring, because it gives you energy, it gives you input. How it can be boring? It can never be boring that way, but it looks boring. Don't stick to words by words, but stick to proper meaning. We are engineers. We have to understand abstract, the essence of what paragraph is, what article is, what contract is, clause is. Not come out. We have experience. We know how work is done, how work is done, what's responsibility, what's the life of work, what's life of item, what's our life. Are we doing justice to ourselves? No, that's the point we've seen. So much is there. So we can say from on onwards, don't take it as laughing stock. It's very, very serious issue. If you are a contract engineer, or even if you are a site engineer, or a project leader, contract should be considered very, very seriously. This is not similarly contract. This is individual contract. It's serious, very serious. So, what to do? I am sure we have understood well. We have understood. We do try to take it up in a concentration way, in a way that is required, that must be required, that must be done, that must be cared for. And this small piece of paper, a file, gives a lot input as far as project is concerned. If you have no confidence in yourself, Then you have to learn confidence first. Learn it again. So we say somewhere we are and somewhere we are not. Somewhere we are and somewhere we not. That's what we are, and we have to understand this point. So today's talk will conclude after this statement. Let's think of ourselves. Let's do of ourselves. Project is project, work is work, contact is contact. Don't forget this. Work is work, technical is technical, technology is technology, quality is quality, quantity is quantity. You have to keep up everything. Otherwise, you'll suffer and you'll suffer. You have to keep up everything. It's required. If you don't keep, I'll suffer, certainly. I think. Every time you start saying like that, I am pleased that you're doing something. Some constructive approach you're taking up, very constructive approach. Certainly, for sure it is. That's what it is, Ultimately, quality designs construction, methods, time, cost, reliability, risks, analysis, synthesis, contemplation, and application engineering, and we can say that. And then we go to the next stage of ours, and we can say, Vivek, I'll conclude this now. Of course, I'll take your leave.